When you decide to quit alcohol, you are embarking on a path that must be traveled with courage because you're stepping into a realm of the unknown. All you do know is that what you have been doing isn't working. We humans tend to stick with what we think we know, even if what we think we know is harming us. We seem to prefer the illusion of knowing over reality as it is, and stepping into the unknown is like familiar ground being removed from under our feet. This journey is going to have unexpected surprises, it's going to have moments of revelation, and you can be sure there will definitely be challenges. Hello, everyone. I'm Jess. Join me today as we explore the possibilities that you might encounter as you travel this path towards a fuller and richer life in sobriety. One of the most simple yet profound realizations encountered in early sobriety is presence in the immediate now. Instead of being lost in the virtual world of the mind with all its stories, with all its drama, we can suddenly experience ourselves in the very immediate moment. Our attention is no longer lost in this numbed out mental world, and each moment of the day is more vivid. You find pleasure in the simple things, like, say, taking a walk at sunrise, a quiet evening, or even a healthy meal. More of reality is infused into every moment because you're able to fully be there. When we're accustomed to chronic alcohol use, when we suddenly quit, we're going to find that emotions are experienced in a way that, well, we may have forgotten. They come back in 5K. Sure, we have emotions when we're drinking, but it seems like we really shut them down quickly, so we never really fully experienced them. The range of emotions is going to be broad. Everything from shame and anger, gratitude, all the way to immense freedom and joy. But confronting these is part of the work. It takes a courage and a willingness to be honest and to be vulnerable. And we have shut ourselves down for far too long. Now is the time to heal. I'm almost embarrassed to say, one thing that I tend to do is to hide and try to figure things out myself. But in early sobriety, I learned that seeking support has immense value. Support groups such as Smart Recovery, AA, and there are many others. These groups offer in-person and online meetings and resources. And in-person meetings I found were the most helpful for me. I found that the resources from an organization called Women for Sobriety was really helpful. There is something to be said about sharing experiences with those who completely understand in an atmosphere of zero judgment. You could also seek help through a rehab center, therapy, medical assistance, if that's something that you feel might work for you. And a lot of folks find that a combination of these things are helpful. When we decide to give up alcohol, we realize how much we tried to avoid life as it is. And when we quit, of course, the challenges of human life are still going to be there. But what's changed is that now we are fully present to deal with things in a much more effective manner. When we have this new presence of mind, problems are more easily solved and obstacles that we face are easier to negotiate. And we start to see that some of the problems are only created in our minds. We'll find that we're developing a more resilient attitude and have a newfound confidence to handle life instead of running away. As our mind gets clearer and clearer, we're going to start to see ourselves as we are, not as the image that we had in our mind, our self-concept, a mental concept that we believed was our actual identity. Sobriety is going to bring us to a place of better understanding and self-awareness, real self-awareness. This, coupled with self-compassion, will help us to make better decisions towards our personal growth. When drinking was part of our typical day-to-day life, we never really see clearly. One of the very best gifts of sobriety is clarity. It's like suddenly we can see. The lights have come on, the veil has been lifted. Our thoughts are getting clearer and clearer, and we can evaluate our thoughts a lot better too. We can recognize our old thought patterns and see just how unhelpful they are. And we notice what has been going on in our inner world and how that inner world impacts our experience of the outer world. One thing I remember someone saying to me when I was in early sobriety is to treat yourself as if you are a sick person getting well. This, for me, was the start of a new definition of self-care, because if you were a heavy drinker like I was, you were a sick person, or you are a sick person, both in your mind and in your body, but now you have to heal yourself. Give yourself what you need. Eat healthy, exercise, get that rest. Maybe try something new like meditation and journaling. I found that I was reading a lot of books. Most of the books I read were to help shift my identification with shame and resentment and anger towards a new, positive, and healthy outlook. I tried to set myself up for success the very best I could. During early sobriety, we might find our relationships are deepening. For most of my life, I had this defensive wall up. I did not like people getting too close. But I started to allow myself to be vulnerable, and I experienced friends like I never had before. No longer was I taking people for granted, and I was just grateful for people that were in my life, thankful when they just reached out to me just because they cared. And I, in turn, was learning to reach out to others more easily. Relationships were feeling more authentic. I was learning to trust people and just to allow those bonds to develop naturally and experience a sense of depth in my interactions. And it felt really good. Even though I'm an introvert, I just love connecting with people. With this new ability to be vulnerable and outgoing comes a sense of appreciation for those little things in life. Things like having a good meal or laughing until your stomach hurts and having fun with your friends. It could also be something simple like that peaceful calm you feel when you go on a walk in nature or you're sitting there watching some wildlife. With more of you there, suddenly there's a richness to even life's simplest pleasures. Now, in closing, I want to reemphasize that early sobriety will be filled with profound aha moments, and you're going to discover yourself in a whole new way, propelling you towards a positive and healthy growth. And every time you have one of these moments of insight and realization, it will be confirmation that you are on the right path. You can do this. Don't give up. I hope you found this video helpful. Please share this if you think it will encourage someone, and consider giving me a like and maybe even a subscribe if you found value in these videos. I would also love your feedback in the comments below. And again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.